Button. Cool, we're live.
Awesome.
What is what is up, peoples of YouTube? I'm the Motorcycle Mick, and today we are back for another motorcycle live stream. I got lucky this time and landed the coolest one ever. If I went the right direction. Today we're joined by the Geared Raven from the 5 Dirty Bikers podcast and Geared Raven 72 on YouTube. Go check her out.
Thank you. It's good to be here. Thanks for inviting me.
I normally do like a little so recap of my week so far is you guys got to see on Tuesday the Sportster video came out with all the parts added on. There's gonna be a more in-depth video coming up. I just was on the bike for the first time in a while and I was really excited because everyone knows my heritage has been in the shop for a while now.
Yeah.
So anyways, back to what I normally do with my life. We are joined today by the Geared Raven. So if you want to go ahead and tell us about your channel, this content you make, what you ride, let people meet you.
Okay. So I ride a 2015 Honda Shadow Phantom 750. I've been riding for about 4 years now. I just got into moto vlogging the beginning of last year, so I've only been doing it about a year and 4 months now. I was encouraged by people in the moto community to start a channel, and that's how I got started into moto vlogging. I didn't even know it was a thing until, probably 4 or 5 months before that, I guess, the fall of 2018. I came across some videos on YouTube of people riding and recording and was like, holy shit, this is a thing. This is really cool. And so found the moto community and got into that, became friends with Dirty D's. And of course, he was the one that started the hashtag support. And then after doing that for a while, I told him, I said, when I look that up, I'm seeing all kinds of things. I'm not seeing motorcycle related stuff. So let's add MVC to the end of it. And so we did. And so tomorrow, Support MVC turns 1 year old. And there are literally hundreds of moto vloggers in that community now and over 5,000 posts on Instagram. And it's just been awesome. It has been so awesome. And I love it because Mick and I, we were talking about this on Instagram. Was it yesterday or the day before?
Yeah.
About how it wasn't designed to be a sub for sub platform. That's not what it's for. It is literally for people that do moto vlogging or motorcyclists to come together, find each other, like minds, motorcycle driven, support each other, help each other in any way that they can. I've seen people, helping with technical issues, helping with YouTube issues, helping with equipment, like how do you get into it? I've seen people raise money for charities, give back to communities, and just literally lift each other up. So love it. I think it's so awesome. But as far as my channel goes, basically my videos are about motorcycle riding, obviously. And a lot of it is to the different locations in Florida. There's so many beautiful places to see in Florida that I've lived here my whole life and I haven't even seen them all. So I literally go to different places and explore different places and try and share as much of that as possible. So that's what I'm about. So I'm on YouTube and Instagram.
And alligators.
Yeah, I love alligators. Alligators are awesome.
I have still yet. I've always wanted to touch one. I will one day touch an alligator.
They're very cool.
If I survive that, we'll be okay.
Yeah, you can go to places where they'll let you hold like the baby ones and stuff.
Hopefully not on the side of the road in Alligator Alley.
Well, yeah, there's a lot of those.
I still want to ride from up here down to the Keys.
Yes, I want to do that too, actually. Haven't ridden to the Keys yet, but that's on my list of things to do. So, yeah.
We'll have to pencil that in and pick you up along the way.
There you go. Sounds like a plan. I like it.
No, and so, I know you're new to the stream. And, at least new to being on. I just can't talk today. New to being on the stream. So, we kind of have... We go around. It's a roving topic thing where you can just kind of select what you want to talk about. If you had something you've been thinking about, and that's just kind of what we do. And the one thing I want to start with is, so you actually, I don't know, I'm sure you listened to Between Two Wheels.
Sometimes, yeah.
I don't know if you noticed they mentioned you in their last one they did.
Was it Wednesday night?
It was about women in motorcycling. He did it with his wife.
No, when was that one?
It's most recent. It's actually really good, but he brought up something really good about that is I think that there's a large problem, I guess, within kind of like motorcycling where there's that stigma that, I mean, if I'm being 100% truthful, like, it's the concept of women ride on the back.
Right.
Yeah, like that's just like what it seems and stuff like that. And there are female clubs and all that starting, really to grow now.
Yeah.
And I think that there can be a lot more women in motorcycling. But what do you like as that side of it? Because you started riding, is what would be that holdback, that restriction that they're, most women are going to feel while they're making that decision to ride a motorcycle, especially if their significant other already has one and they normally ride on it.
What would hold them back?
Like, what's some of the things that you could, I want to say like assist, but like
encourage them, you mean?
Yeah. Like,
okay. Yeah. Okay. I see where you're going with this, I think. So I think the very first thing would be if you're interested in riding, whether you're a woman or a man and you've never ridden before, I think the best thing for you to do would be to go somewhere where they offer the motorcycle safety course, because you learn so much just in that basic course, and it gives you a really good idea of how to handle a bike, what to expect on a bike, and that sort of thing. And so I would definitely recommend for somebody wanting to start there. You don't have to have a license to do that. And so just go and take it and see if it's for you. I saw one lady in class that she said, this isn't for me. I mean, literally like about halfway through class, she's like, I thought I wanted to do this, but now after trying it, she's like, I just really don't think this is for me. And so she left, but there were other ladies there that were a little bit intimidated when they first started. And then they were like, oh my God, this is amazing. So I would say start there. And don't let anybody tell you that you can't do it, because you can.
And we just had Wet Banana Mike jump in. He is also a cohort in the Five Dirty Bikers podcast. Also rides probably a bike I want.
Oh, everybody needs one. You don't. There's no probably about it.
See, it's like I wanted to look at eventually getting an adventure bike, and I'm like, you know what? I was like, the Harley's got the Pan America, and then I saw that KLR, and I'm like, it's a dirt bike with special wheels. I want it.
Well, that's and that's the thing that I try to reiterate to most people whenever I talk to them, because I loved my little Sportster. Man, it was fast. It it handled as good as a Harley could handle to a degree, and that was it. But I grew up in the South, so for me, I wanted something that I could take down a gravel road and not have to worry about polishing the chrome every time I wanted to do that. And that's the thing. And I didn't fit into the whole Harley, culture type of thing. But the dual sport stuff is definitely, or adventure riding dual sport. I guess it's a CC thing. I don't know what the difference is, but yeah, I definitely like the whole dual sport thing a lot better than I do the whole Harley thing. Definitely.
Yeah, and I obviously somehow fit into Harley culture somehow. I don't really do, actually, because I have a ridiculous helmet. But
well, what helmet do you wear?
Oh,
we have to see. He's going for it.
Literally, this kid pulls up at my house looking like a space cadet.
Oh wow!
It's black. It's unique. It's very identifiable.
To see
well,
that.
Yeah, handlebars are on the floor. Don't worry about it.
Those are generally supposed to stay on the motorcycle.
This is my helmet.
Oh wow!
Nice.
Those
You have to back it up a little bit and spin it. Let's see.
Hold on, I've got to try to figure out
Cool.
where those came from.
You know what it reminds me of?
Amazon, all of it.
Yeah.
It reminds me of the dragon.
It's actually called Toothless.
There you go. You knew what I was talking about.
Yep, actually, that's Toothless V2. Toothless V1 was a Bell qualifier, and I was getting really crappy audio, and it was kind of uncomfortable for after 3 years.
Yeah.
So I actually ended up getting sponsored by Bell for
Nice.
for drag racing,
Sweet.
and so I got the helmet and I got the visor, and then I don't know. I like having that gold visor. I don't know about you guys, but like having that visor that you can like hide behind and just kind of be more yourself than you normally would be around people.
Yeah, I mean, I guess that goes down to whether you're an introvert or an extrovert, sort of. It's the same thing. I mean, for me, I act a fool. It doesn't matter where I'm at, but I like to have a good time no matter what.
The word of the day is transverted.
Yeah.
I don't know what vert I am.
But as long as you're trans, that's okay. Everybody's welcome in the motorcycle community.
So
That's right.
if you guys don't know, go listen to the 5 Dirty Bikers podcast, but Mike always has a word of the day.
It's the best.
But
It always gets twisted really fast.
Yeah.
Always riding at least one wheel in the gutter.
Mm.
what was that one I heard? Was it the cum or something?
Cran comb.
But
cran cum. Yeah, cran.
That's
cum,
it.
Crankum.
Oh my God.
And it all started out. So, another guy on the podcast, he's actually over in the chat too. Kid Moto 22. When I met everyone, I had watched them on YouTube, and I was sort of a fanboy, and I was surprised that they asked me to be part of anything, and I got just sort of thrown into this text thread, this, whatever on the phone. Didn't know who I was in there with. Well, I was in there with a bunch of guys I watched on YouTube anyway, and I was like, holy crap, this is amazing. This is awesome. And then, but Ryan, when I get around educated people, like college education, white collar folk, I tend to stay. I tend to stray away from $100 words, or what I call $100 words, and that's something that common folk like me, like myself, blue collar guy, I don't hear those words very often unless I'm around some educated person who, uses menagerie or uses, just really big words to describe really simple things. And so whenever we had started doing the podcast, I just happened to come up with these words. And so I started calling it the word of the day. And that's how it all got started. And it's just been, I use my Southern charm to wreck the word as hard as I can, because there's no reason for me to try to keep it how it's supposed to sound or be or anything like that. But what's funny is that people actually, I've been told that people actually learn the word, and when they see the word in real life, they pronounce it the same way that I have pronounced it. Like
Tony,
Yeah,
Tony, I love and I hate you so bad right now, because all I heard in my head was Wet Banana reading that word for word, like in his voice. Juju nuts.
That's what Tony just put in the chat.
It's like
That's his favorite.
Yeah, he absolutely loves Juggernaut. That's, and it's like, so every time I hear it, I'm like, hey, that's a Juju nut. You just got to break into your Matthew McConaughey. Everybody's got to enter Matthew McConaughey somewhere in.
Oh my gosh.
All right.
No, like the first time I heard
the
first time I heard Wet Banana's voice, it was just like I could hear this dude reading like Dr. Seuss to kids. Like just the way it sounds, like the nice, perfect sound. I'm like, the cat in the hat walked, and I'm like, I want him. He needs like voice actor now. I can't even.
Love that.
I say, do you like the green eggs and ham?
Yeah.
Do you like them, Sam? I am.
We're gonna start just a line of you reading books that are just epic for us.
It's a smooth, sultry voice.
It is. So,
hey, question. question for Mr. Norseman and Mr. Mick. Do you guys know what a merkin is?
Unfortunately.
Yeah,
A merkin?
a merkin.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know what a merkin is?
Merkin?
A
Yeah.
Tell us.
merkin. Yeah.
Tell us.
Yeah. Then I'm American?
No.
No.
Nope.
No?
Uh-oh.
No.
I don't-
Merkin is the actual name. It's not the wet banana version. It's a merkin.
You
Mick,
can
let him
find it
know.
on Amazon.
You can.
Educate me.
So a merkin came out, I think it was the 16th or 17th century. And it's otherwise known as a pubic wig. Because the women back in that time, they had the syphilis real bad. And so they would put this wig on to disguise the fact that they had lost all of their hair.
My channel just got demonetized.
No, I did not have any vulgarity in
Dude.
that.
Do you know you need to have at the end of that though is like the more you know, dude. That's just the sound from the more you know.
Yeah, and the 3 stars flying through space.
Just the audio. Just at the end of it.
Is this like going to be an
The more
episode of
you
like,
know.
Deep Thoughts by Jack Handy?
Oh yeah. Hey, I love man. That was one of my favorite parts of Saturday Night Live. That's good stuff right there.
Absolutely.
Deep Thoughts by Jack Handy.
That's
Read a
always
poem.
a fun question on the podcast.
Yeah.
So,
Our guest, yeah.
so I'm a Harley guy.
Mhm.
He
That way.
is a Harley guy.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, that's the wrong way. Yeah.
Yeah, you have to point the opposite way.
But you guys both don't ride Harleys, and I know that Raven. It was yours and your. I'm guessing that was more yours than your husband's.
What's
The Indian.
Oh, it was shared by both of us actually. We still have it, but I think we're fixing to sell it. Yeah.
And Wet Bananas just got the KLR, which is I still like. Just the shenanigans you could get into with that.
Yeah. Here,
I don't
Like
think
you
cop cars go through trees, but bikes do.
I can tell you that last weekend I was stuck in some mud on a minimum. So around here they have what's called a minimum maintenance road, and so it's a road that runs through the Flint Hills, but they don't grade it. If it digs a gully out or anything like that, it's just minimum maintenance. And so they have these minimum maintenance roads. And last weekend it had rained. And I figured, well, it hadn't rained that bad. It hadn't rained that hard. It's not going to be that muddy. But I ended up going through about, it's probably 6 or 7 inches deep of this clay mud. It wasn't like a runny mud. It wasn't like a, powdery stuff that just sort of falls off. It was literally clay. And I've got some pretty knobby tires on my bike now. I mean, I've got like it's a Dunlop D606, which is a good DOT dirt bike tire. And anyway, yeah, I got stuck in the mud for about an hour trying to go about a half a mile, and it sucked. And I had my whole rear suspension packed full of mud, and it was pretty bad. So
Still sounds like a good time though.
oh, it was. That's what.
Raven said the new lead in Reading Rainbow.
Yeah. Butterflies in the sky.
I feel like you'd make a great Mr. Rogers replacement too. I'm just throwing
Oh
that out.
God.
It's funny you should say that because I wear these shoes called Hey Dudes. Have you ever seen Hey Dudes?
I have not seen Hey Dudes.
So they sort of look like a house slipper, except they got like the soles of a croc on the bottom.
So they're
And
Crocs.
No, they're house slipper, but they're hold on.
Oh, he's got to take them off and show us.
See?
Oh yeah, I know those.
So those are my Hey Dudes. Well, I wear these into work every day, and I had to put on metatarsal steel-toed boots. So every day I put on my steel boots, I sing Mr. Rogers, and I toss my shoe in the air every morning when I go into work.
You know,
It's
this
funny you say that.
this has to happen on the like your podcast has to feature that at some point.
Yeah, you need to record that for us, Mike. I want to see that.
Oh,
That
I'll film
actually
it.
would be very, very fun to watch.
Yeah.
And then you just start out the segment. Hey friends, Welcome back.
Hello,
Hey,
friends. I'm back to work today.
I can't, that's the thing is I can't even remember all the characters that were on Mr. Rogers. I guess if I had
Did you-
watched the movie, I'd know.
I did not know all the characters were him though. Like all the puppet, he did all the puppetry and everything,
Really?
and
I
all
didn't
the
know
all the
either.
voices.
What was the cat? Do you remember what the cat was?
Oh,
Was it Mr. Whiskers?
no?
No.
Mr. Whiskers.
There was King Friday.
Yep.
There was a Princess something. I don't know what that one was. I
All
can't
right.
remember.
Somebody's got to guess. Whoever's in the
All right,
side
who's-
chat has to Google
Yeah,
what the
Google.
cat's name on Mr. Rogers was.
We absolutely, this is
I
like
gotta know.
above priority one.
Mr. Whiskers. What was Mr. Whiskers on? I remember Mr. Whiskers.
No.
But
Remember where Mr. Whiskers came from?
yeah. But yeah, God dang, we got sidetracked real quick.
This happens a lot.
Well,
Yeah.
it's a good thing I took my Adderall because I can at least remember what we were talking about before we got sidetracked.
I took some Adderall.
Oh, okay. Well, there you go. That's all right. Little dab will do you.
Henrietta.
I mean, Henrietta.
There
you
it is.
go.
Henrietta. Yep.
But
Google.
Google,
Somehow-
Google food.
Somehow back to the KLR from Mr. Rogers.
Well, no, I mean that's the thing is we actually discussed this. We've discussed it many times. We're going to have a podcast coming up about brand hate, we've had brand loyalty and all that stuff. And at the end of the day, I talked about this in a couple of podcasts ago. A person in the Discord that we have had asked the question of whether I would wave at a Can-Am Spider or not. It doesn't matter if you're in a Can-Am Spider. It doesn't matter if you're in a Slingshot or a car or a truck. I'll wave at you if you wave at me. It doesn't matter, if I'm going down the road, Harley, whatever. But for me, I don't see it as an import versus a American-made motorcycle. I don't see it as a classic versus newer technology. I don't see it as anything. I see it as everyone has their own taste in motorcycles, and I accept everyone for who they are. So, unless you ride a Dyna, and then I don't. I still like the person. I just don't like the Dyna.
It's just an oversized Sportster.
It is. But
I don't know. The hype only came after that show, so
I know.
I'm even gonna say that. Not even mention it. It's like Voldemort on this channel. Like I hate that show.
Mick, it's like a Glock. Either you love them or you hate them.
Yeah,
I do love a Glock.
I do too.
I am a SIG person. Thank you.
Oh.
Sorry, you're a sick person?
SIG Sauer.
I thought it was sick.
Hey, you know what? At least the handguns I shoot also make white rifles too. SIG Sauer.
Man. That's called a 226 knob right there is what that is.
I'm more of a fan. I love my SKS more.
Yeah, I don't know. Everybody has their own thing. And
What made you go from a Sportster to a KLR?
because I couldn't ride, I could have ridden my Sportster off road. And I have ridden with guys who have ridden off road. And I can tell you that if you have a cruiser with cruiser tires on it, they do not go well in the gravel at all. And I can literally take a turn in the gravel on my KLR at 70 miles an hour. And that's, now it's a big sweeping turn. It's not like a hairpin or nothing, but that's the thing is I don't care if I lay it down. I don't care if I drop it. I don't care if it gets muddy. I can go weeks at a time without washing it, which I have done. And I
Sounds
don't,
like me and my bagger.
and some people do it like what's the $1 million Bohan or whatever his name is. The guy that traveled in the Monkey and the Grom over in Australia or New Zealand or wherever.
I can't remember what his name is. I know that it is.
$1 million something. Anyway,
Yeah.
you know, he rode one across somewhere and put it through its paces and jumped stuff and done crazy stuff. I mean, you can do crazy stuff on a bagger. Don't get me wrong, but
Yeah, but behind through like the mud, the dirt, you know,
$1 million bogan. There it is.
there it is.
it's just not. It's
Yeah.
not. feasible.
Right. And that's the thing is I didn't necessarily want to find mud, but for me, when I was on the Sporty, I would be driving somewhere, exploring the area that I was in, and I would come up to a gravel road and I would literally have to turn around and find some other way to go wherever I wanted to go, all because I'm like, God, I don't want to have to wash this damn thing again. And I could have just let it be dirty, but hell, then I would have got hammered for letting it. Not only would it have been dirty, but it would still have been a Sportster. I mean, that's the, you know, I'd have caught hell 2 ways at that point.
Well, you brought up something that really is, I mean, it's the whole brand hate, brand love thing. And it's like, I have a statement in my head that I thought about a lot, which might sound weird.
Yeah.
It's like, I love Harley, but I hate the brand.
Mm-hmm. I guess what the conclusion we sort of came up with is think of a Chevrolet Corvette. A Chevrolet Corvette is a very good sports car. It's a good, you know, track car, whatever. The Chevrolet Corvette culture, just like the Harley culture, it's not the car that makes the culture bad. It's the people that make the culture bad.
Yeah.
And, you know, I wish everybody, I mean, and most people, man, you know, most people, honestly, most people don't care what you ride as long as you ride and have a good time. But then there are those hardcore cruiser, bagger, whatever guys. And that's generally the ones that are like, you know, if you're on anything metric or whatever else, then, you know, they not necessarily don't like you, but, you know, it's sort of a look down. I feel like they look down on people for what they ride. So yeah, I consider like a Harley owner, a Corvette owner. But I know I know a lot of very nice Corvette owners that I respect, just like Harley guys. You know, I respect everybody in the podcast. I respect anybody that rides a Harley, whether it be a Dyna or whatever else. But it's just the fact that, you know, I don't know. I think people just need to drop the whole hate thing and be inviting, because it's, you know, if you pull up somewhere and they're in all black and leather, first you look to see if they're on a motorcycle or not, because they could be doing something else. But
Clubbing.
yeah, but
Does this ball gag make my butt look fat?
yeah, see, like that kind of stuff, you know. It's like, hey, he's wearing chaps, but he forgot his pants. You know,
Dumb bitch.
What are these pants you speak of?
yes, pantas. But yeah. So I don't know, man. I think the hate's there, but it's everybody's starting to realize now that, and a lot of that was old timers. You know, the older guys.
Outback Outlaw with another super chat. Thank you, man. Says, have you got the wheels on the bike yet, Mick? Unfortunately, no. It should be out. It should be out of the shop next week. But there's going to be a couple videos about what really happens when you buy cheap wheels.
Oh,
Out of Florida, plus.
Out of Florida, yes.
Oh crap! Leave it to Florida.
It's
We get hated on all the time.
No,
Your defense is Southern Florida.
I bought the wheels, and under the impression the guys did the research, are like, yep, this will fit on your bike. And ended up happening is they sent me one wheel, the rear wheel got lost in the mail. So they're like, okay, cool, we'll get you another one. A week later, a little over a week later, I get another wheel, except for they sent me another front wheel. So then I had two front wheels, and then another 2 weeks later, I got my rear wheel finally, and then we got in the shop. It's like, yeah, this isn't going to work. So now my bike's at a custom shop getting a wheel made for it.
Wow.
Ooh. So Did they think you were making a tracker, and that's why they sent you 2 front wheels, or?
I have no idea what they were thinking, but definitely probably a tracker.
You should have went with the 23. I think that would have looked good front and back.
I didn't want to lose, especially drag racing. I can't really afford to lose like durability.
Yeah.
And my bike likes to wheelie. So
Your bike likes to wheelie, or you like to wheelie?
the bike likes to
Both.
wheelie.
Both.
For legal purposes, the bike likes to wheelie. I can't control her.
Okay.
But no, but yeah, it lifts the front wheel, and I don't want to have to deal with that issue if my front wheel comes down on it and I got a big, a tall front wheel. It's not going to have the same absorption as like a regular size wheel.
Right. Yeah.
But yeah, that's
Yeah.
So yeah, that's kind of the story of that one. It's been an ongoing joke for about 2 months now. It's like, oh, the video's coming out. Yeah, I did the live stream. I was so excited. I'm like, the wheel's getting put on tomorrow. We're gonna have the bike out, and they're gonna see the video. And it's like, no. And then the rear wheel almost fell off on the way down to the other shop, and so I had to get. Just buy a bike with mag wheels on it already. Just do it, or have them do it at the shop. As much as I hate the Harley culture, I do. Okay, wow, and there we go.
Wow. There was Honda's reaction. Wow. Oh my God, that makes it, Mike.
Yeah, buddy.
Away from South Florida.
But yeah, so going back to what I was talking about the like with the Harley culture, like I said, I love Harley as a brand, but yeah, it's definitely the culture that kind of created. Like, I don't know, you see a dude goes in the Harley dealer, buys a Dyna, buys a flannel, buys some jeans, and all of a sudden he's doing stunts.
Yeah,
I feel like that's the direct order, and I don't think that's what it is and what Harley culture was meant to be. Especially since we somehow loud pipes became a thing, because they were actually marketed for their quietness back in the 1900s or early 1900s.
Yeah, but I think like anything else, I mean, like we were talking before, like the people make the culture. I mean, stop to think about like the brand. If Harley marketed more towards like what they originally started is like people that actually had money, right? And it became, it kind of kept going that direction all through like the 60s and 70s.
right.
It would have been an entirely different brand image, if you will. You wouldn't have like the people that created that, like, this is like the Harley brand image of the infamous bikers, the 1%ers, all those wouldn't have been there.
Yeah.
Because it wouldn't have been affordable. It wouldn't have been at their price point. So the mindset would have been completely different, to where kind of like owning, I don't know, a luxury vehicle,
Yeah.
Harley, and in my mind, it's like Harley is more so like the Cadillac of motorcycles per se, in the mindset, because Cadillacs are more for like the high-end working man.
Yes.
As opposed to buying, I don't know, a McLaren, or buying, a Bentley or some other like high-end vehicle.
Yeah.
I don't know. It really does boil down to people and the nostalgia that they put towards that bike.
Yeah.
I would say, speaking of Bentley Indians, what made you guys get the Indian?
Okay, so I guess he had been looking at like different bikes, because he's always on like Craigslist or Motorcycle Trader, stuff like that, looking at different bikes. And he had actually looked at one of the Honda, I think it's a Fury.
Yeah.
And with like the raked out front end or whatever. And he thought he wanted that, and he went and rode it and was like, I don't like this. And so there was the Indian Scout had been on this one website. I think it was actually at Ocala, which is about an hour from us, at the dealership, and it'd been on there for probably a couple of months. And he said, I really want to ride up and look at that Indian Scout. And I said, okay, well, let's go. And so we rode up and we looked at it, and it only had 750 miles on it. And so we were like, what is the deal with this bike that it's only got 750 miles? And he said, well, literally, the lady won it. There was a lady that won it in a raffle. She rode it just a little bit and was like, nah, it's not really for me. And her husband rode it for just a little bit. And he's like, yeah, let's do something different. So they ended up trading that Indian and the bike he was riding on a different bike. And so, yeah, so 750 miles, and we pretty much stole it from that dealership. I mean, we lowballed them on it and they took our offer. But anyway, so that's how we ended up with the Scout. But
So I'm saying, if you stole it, you're gonna catch a charge.
I know, right? Yeah.
That's when you get caught.
Yeah.
Yes.
No. Like the price, they had already lowered the price on it for whatever reason, and we got them lower than that on it. So and it's really pretty because it's got like hand done pinstriping on it for I guess the raffle that they did.
Ooh.
And it has red LEDs under the tank. It's a beautiful bike, and it'll haul butt.
Yeah, I when I rode that Challenger, like that was such a weird feeling of a bike that big.
Yeah, it's
handling the way it did and the weight of it, like that thing just wanted to roll throttle the whole time. It was happy pulling, and it was such a weird feeling to feel out of something, because I've ridden road glides, and road glides just feel heavy compared to that bike.
Yeah.
And I think of Indian, like I've talked about this before, but I think if Indian gets the dealer support network, I think that they could compete with Harley, but they have to get it.
Yeah. I will say that bike weighs the exact same weight as my bike. It's only like a pound difference, I think, wet weight. But it has so much more power in it than the Phantom that I ride, that when you get in the throttle, your butt slides back in the seat and you're gone. I mean, it's just ridiculous.
They're horsepower monsters.
Yeah, they are. I mean, it's a fun bike to ride, but to me, it's not as comfortable as what I'm riding. So I'm not in love with it, and I'm not attached to it. So
What would the new bike be?
Do what now?
What would the new bike be?
What would the new bike be?
Well, it said you're looking to get rid of the Indian.
Okay. So we're not getting a new one. We don't ride that one enough because we both like the bikes that we have. And rather than it just sit there, we just decided, neither one of us are attached to it, so we'll get rid of it. So
there you have it.
So yeah, if you're in Florida and you're looking for an Indian Scout, it's red, and hit me up.
Great.
Make you a deal on it.
That actually is something. I don't know. It was something different about that felt different about the Indian, and then I kind of like I've always ragged on Harley on my channel. That's not like a secret. I've always been really pissed off about the way they do stuff, and even though I've bought into the Harley itself, it's like buying into the original feeling of it. But now looking at it, like seeing the fun that different people have on different styles of bikes, it's like if I could get any bike I wanted right now, it'd probably be a Ducati Hyper Motard, just because it's just a really expensive KLR. But
yeah, I will say now, if you like riding on the street, my buddy that I ride with has a Supermoto, a Suzuki DRZ 400 Supermoto. And man, I love that bike. It's small and it's nimble and it's relatively light. It's not as light as like say a 250 or something like that, but it's light. And he just got through putting knobby tires on his Supermoto, and he can go everywhere that my KLR can.
So if you could have any bike, money was no objective, what would it be? You can only get one bike.
I would probably I would probably still have my KLR.
Money is no objective. You'd still have a KLR.
I would still have a KLR. I love that thing, dude. It is. You want to talk about comfortable? Like, I've got 8 inches of suspension travel. Dinah, yeah. Negative. No, I've got 8 inches of suspension travel, and I've got a seat that looks like a banana seat off of a 1970s Schwinn, and it's just one of those things.
Only a 4.
Yeah.
It's
We've always said you can go nuts to butts 3 times on it. At least 3 dudes, or a guy and 2 girls. I mean, whatever. I'm just saying. I'm talking on the seat, not like sensual or nothing.
Any bike, Indian. Yeah. Mr. McStash said he'd go with an Indian Larry original.
Ooh.
That would be. I mean, if we're talking
Nice.
that you could just custom bikes as well, like one-offs. I would definitely love. I would have actually loved to have something before he passed, as opposed to the Indian Larry Legacy. But I don't know. That man made some amazing bikes.
I think Seeger's doing pretty good with it.
I'm not saying that he isn't. I'm just saying.
I actually got to ride with him last year. That was actually really cool.
Yeah.
The guy that owns and runs Indian Larry motorcycles. He had a benefit ride for he had a child who passed away. And so he's got a thing called the Aiden Jack Seeger Foundation, which is testing for a disease that I honestly cannot pronounce, and I don't want to attempt to, but it's actually a really good cause. But yeah, Indian Larry.
Yep.
Good choice.
Definitely.
Norseman, what about you?
There's so many I don't know, if you rewind, say about 10 years ago when the OCC craze was going on,
Mm-hmm.
there were so many other bike builders that were way better, in my opinion, that were way better than the Tuttles in building bikes. And I don't know, it's just, I guess in a sense it kind of paved the way for the rest of them to kind of get a little bit more notoriety, because it's like Billy Lane was building bikes down in Florida. Eric Gorges was building up here out of Voodoo. Trying to think of what's his name, who is an amazing artist up here in Pontiac. Why can I not think of him right now? He's been doing this for probably 40, 50 years.
Wait, where did you get a Corona Street sign?
They were talking about on the side.
So people have been asking about this sign. I've had this sign for probably the last I don't know,
6 weeks.
We're on lockdown. We can't say that.
I've had this sign for about 6 weeks. When my cough started happening.
Yeah.
But that's kind of what I was looking at, is that out of all these custom bikes, I mean, I wouldn't mind having one out of every local bike builder. They come up with some of the most amazing, just functional art, if you will, and that's something that I'm really big into, because when I started building bikes, I was around guys that were in motorcycle clubs that wrenched on their own stuff and picked up stuff along the way. And as I did that, it really seeing what people can do to make something that's not only aesthetically pleasing, but functional as well.
Yeah.
That's what drew me to it. That's why I used to love building custom, because no matter what it is that you did, it was yours and yours alone.
Correct. And that's the thing that people I miss now, from a cruiser aspect or a custom bike. aspect. I mean, there's all different types of custom bikes, as you know, you can do imports or whatever. But at the end of the day, the artists who build these custom bikes drive each other, and they feed off of each other, because you may see something that someone else has done, and you're not stealing their idea, you're not copying their thing, but you get the idea of, oh, hey, it, I can do it this way, and it may work differently, may work better, may work worse. And that's the thing I like about custom bike building, as far as that goes. I come from as far as like classic cars or modern day cars, I come from just sort of more of a sleeper, simple look, just get a lowered truck and put a set of big tires in the back and smaller tires in the front and have it sit level rather than having it raked out, and, more of a hot rod look. And that's the same way I look at bikes too, and motorcycles. I want to see something that I would see at a drag strip, or something that I would see, maybe not a coffee shop or a cafe, because, then I'd be riding a cafe racer, but just something that's got clean lines, that isn't overcomplicated, that, but when the ingenuity comes out, that's when you really see an artist for what he can do. And that's what drives other people to do more things too. So.
Yeah. And that's why I'm a huge fan of like rat rods and bobbers. I'm not one for like, when I build bikes, I don't like hiding wires. I don't like hiding the mechanics behind it. I like to keep like the theme and the lines of it, but I like to see all that. I love open primaries. I love like the different things that you can do for, the open primary covers, for the belt covers. Am I one for putting like a 3¼ inch belt on, put a treadmill on the side of it? I've been there, done that, and got my pant leg caught in it numerous times where it gets thrown off, and I'm just like, this is just not functional. So that's the kind of stuff that I really enjoy. And there are people that either love it or hate it. There's people that look at that and say that it looks like it was like slapped together with whatever parts you had laying around. But that's the artist part of me,
Right.
When I see, and I've built my fair share of what I refer to as trailer queens that look like $50,000 bikes that you don't see any wires, you don't see any cables, everything's run internal. And, paint jobs are, what they pay for in paint jobs is basically what you can go and buy a bike for. But like, I don't see the function behind it. You know what I mean? I see the aesthetics, but is it comfortable to ride? Not so much. No. You're not putting miles on these. You're not putting distance on it. It's just bar hopping.
I've noticed that with my Sportster, I get asked more about it than I do my Heritage. And I think that's because the Heritage is all kind of blacked out, and the Sportster's got the rusted tank and that look of a brawler and a rat bike. And I think it's just like I don't think, you have a CVO, like say you have a CVO Road Glide sitting next to like a custom built bike. People are going to go over to the custom built bike, even though that CVO is a $50,000 motorcycle, just because their attraction is to something that is cool to them versus something that you can see every day.
I was actually going to ask you about that rusted tank on that Sportster, whether that was like an actual rusty tank or a paint job, because I know some people paint their tanks to look like that.
It is so and the reason they do that is out of convenience. To make that tank look the way it is and rust it properly, it's like you got to let it get a surface layer and then you sand it down. Then you get another layer and sand it down. And basically you're building the grain and the shape of it and the look of it. And if you want it to be even, it takes that. I think that's taken 2.5 years to do.
Wow.
To that point.
Yeah.
I'm going to tell you something like pretty interesting with the like stuff that you can do in getting creative, right? So you guys familiar with Damascus steel?
Yes. That they make knives out of. Yes,
Yeah,
absolutely.
basically where they take
Oh,
3D
Damascus, yeah.
metals, weld them, and then forge them by
Yes.
folding, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, I was friends with somebody that works at he works at General Motors, but what he also does on the side is he is an old school tinsmith, and
Nice.
just a conversation, literally over a cup of coffee, he introduced me to a process of taking basically different combinations of bleach, water, and boiling it in a giant tub, like an old school bathtub.
Yeah.
Once you get a rolling boil onto that, you actually dip your tank or your parts into it, and it will etch the metal with the rolling boil. So no two will ever be the same.
Wow.
So
Whoa.
using that type of technique that was basically like from eons ago gives you a different finish. I've actually done a Sportster tank that I actually and it took me about a year and a half to do, but it was more so just, I don't know, ADD kicking in and, working on it here and there. But I actually
Throws the tank away, grabs a new one.
No, I actually went ahead and scrolled out an entire peanut tank by hand. I just drew on it with a Sharpie, just did scroll work on it, and then went ahead and took literally an etching tool and just started etching on it little at a time, piece by piece. And
Cool.
in about a year and a half, I got that done. I ended up selling it for about $1,000.
Dang.
But it was just because it was hand done.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. When somebody asked me about it, because they saw it in a picture that I had posted, somebody asked me about it. It's like, is that tank in the background for sale? And I'm like, that one? I'm like, I didn't even realize that it ended up in the picture. But he made me an offer, and I was like, shit, yeah, you can have it for $1,000.
Wow. Very cool.
We really appreciate it. But that's what I'm saying is like the creativity that you can put behind it with using different techniques. Like salt water on bare metal, and then get it to where you want it, and then lock it in.
Mm-hmm.
Get that as
Actually, Florida has the best state for actually rusting stuff.
Well,
anything along
not necessarily.
I'm not saying. I'm saying like if you're gonna rust it yourself.
Yeah.
It's like the humidity and stuff in the air. You can actually pour beer on bare metal, and it actually will start corroding in front of your eyes. It's so cool.
As far as riding stuff, though, I think like the states up north that have all this salt on their roads and stuff, man, that'll mess a vehicle up.
What's left of our roads does have salt on it.
Yeah.
Our roads are terrible. I should probably get a KLR just for downtown Detroit.
Oh my gosh.
I'm thinking you probably need one for the outskirts as well.
And a Glock.
Ooh.
Yeah.
You might hurt somebody.
Welcome to Detroit.
Yeah.
We literally had they announced quarantine, and there was people riding dirt bikes and 4-wheelers down through downtown Detroit.
Oh, nice.
Dang.
That's because it's a rock city.
Yeah, I had my 4-wheeler out yesterday.
Nailed it.
All right. Well, guys, I am going to go out and ride for a little bit. I appreciate you guys having me on.
Yeah, man.
Mick, thank you so much, dude. Norseman,
thank you for being here.
Very nice to meet you, buddy.
Absolute pleasure.
And Mary,
yes.
have a good night.
Thanks, on you too.
Everybody inside chat, thanks for putting up with me. I'm aboard. We'll do. Yeah. You guys have a good time.
Be safe.
You too.
See ya.
Bye.
Bye.
I think I think Raven, you lucked out when you got that pinstriping on that tank, because it's definitely a lost art.
Yeah, it's beautiful because it's on the tank and it's on the fenders as well. It's really pretty.
And I'm trying to find someone up here that can do it, because I kind of want to get the pinstripes on my tank redone.
Yeah.
You? Okay, well, I found someone.
There you go.
But no, I think that's a lost art that before, back in the day, you could find someone everywhere. That every shop had a guy that could do pinstriping.
Yeah.
And now to actually find people that know what they're doing is such a challenge.
That's because it's a lost art, just like those that actually form metal. it's a dying art, because nowadays everything you buy has either been stamped, or there's different techniques of putting it together. But like to hand roll a fender, or to actually knock out like a handmade gas tank, there's very few people that still do that.
Yeah.
That's why I
You know,
collect these.
it's a definite lost art.
That's why I collect this stuff, man. It's because like, yeah, you can get the Harley-Davidson ones that are just stamped. They have a digital CAD program that makes it.
Oh, yeah.
Like the ones like this are actual, like they're a painting before they become the actual tin. The dude paints it out in actually Deadwood.
And then I take it those are the relief tins,
Which ones?
ones behind you.
What do you mean relief?
Like they're like, if they're not flat, they're like,
Oh yeah, no,
Wheat
they're
card.
oh, I thought you meant like embossed.
Yeah.
embossed relief. It's same thing. It's the same technique.
I don't know relief though. I'm not that intelligent. But yeah, that's I mean
you are. I think you just
it's
typed a lot of
it's so his name is Mark Jacobs, the guy that actually does all these paintings, and I think that's something about the Harley culture I do like. But like you said, creating something from start to finish isn't here anymore, and
yeah.
it's just a sad thing. I mean, along with that too is like I guess the art of writing is kind of dying too. Unfortunately, it's first, and I think Harley's kind of killing that anyways. But when it comes,
What do you mean by that? Like the art of writing?
because it's, I don't think that anyone that actually knows how to ride, like, and I say that is like you can be on a motorcycle but not be riding. So, the art of being able to like use your bike to a fullest extent and know how to control it and be one with the bike versus just being a passenger on it
I got you.
is kind of dying away. Because most people are happy riding around town, and that's some people's prerogative, you know, it's like that. But like the jumping on a bike and just going is kind of going away.
Like
And
road tripping, you're saying?
yeah, I mean, how many times have you seen like just like, and I know they got like Scooter Tramp Scotty, if I speak normally, but he's been traveling for decades just on a bike. That's it. Like that's the way he works at shows. He works at different events. He works out in Sturgis, and that's how he makes his living, and that's how he rides, man. Like I feel like that's dying, and I think moto vloggers actually are helping it kind of come back, because then it gives people places like they can see it, and then they're like, I want to go there.
Yeah.
Especially,
and I think that's actually like, I mean, that's what I like about it, is the mere fact of like, you don't know what you don't know, you know. And when you have that many people out there like moto vlogging and showing different destinations, different places, that's what kind of like, you know, entices people to like, I want to do that too.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's because if you don't know about it, I mean, that's what I'm saying. You don't know what you don't know.
I honestly never in my life had the inclination I'm going to take my bike to Florida. Like in my mind, I was just like, eh. And then I saw where Raven lives, like everywhere she rides and all the stuff she sees. I'm like, that's like where it looks like where I grew up, you know, except for it doesn't snow. So that means it's perfect year round.
God. Yeah. There's literally so much to see here. I mean, gosh. I'll see pictures on Instagram. I follow a bunch of different like Florida people. I either follow motorcycle people or Florida people. But I'll see somebody post something. Where is that? Where's that? I want to go see that. And I'll pull it up on a map and I'm like, yep, there's my next motorcycle ride. So
I mean, that's kind of one of the things that like I really want to see, you know, and I'm really would love to just like ride to California and just get lost along the way.
Yeah.
You know, just the mere fact of like going through little towns, going through like, you know, just the scenery it just makes you stop and like really appreciate life for a moment.
Yeah.
That's the biggest thing that I like about like motorcycling, is the fact that between the hustle and bustle of everyday life, You can get out there, you can go get lost, and you'll find yourself, you know, you'll find these things that you can see that just really kind of make you stop and just appreciate the moment.
I don't think Wild Hogs. I know it sounds stupid, but the movie Wild Hogs doesn't get enough credit where it's due.
Agreed.
Because it's really about it sounds so crazy, but people have experienced that stuff. I don't know about the cop part of it where the dude's just chasing him down. I don't know about that, but
2 counts and 1 count of pure
But-
jelly.
but yeah, just sleeping on a sleeping bag in a sleeping bag under the stars, or like on a blow up mattress just in the middle of nowhere, or finding that one little place you can go hang out at. I think that's what writing's all about, and I think that's what's awesome is, especially like for me personally, is I deal with that Harley stigma just because I'm a dude wearing a Harley, wearing all black because I like black and it matches my bike, and I'm like that. But it's
You like to match do you like to match your gear to your bike?
yes, I'm a ninja.
You're not a biker, sir. You're a Power Ranger.
I am a Power Ranger. Yes, I actually even have the helmet too. I think that was from one of the seasons. But yeah, I mean it's just such a relaxing feeling to just go.
Yeah. I will say some of the places that we've come across, I guess, in our travels were just by taking a wrong turn, like, oh, this is not the road we meant to be on. But, you'll pass something and be like, oh, wow, that's cool. We didn't know that was back here. We've been close to this area I don't know how many times, and just down this one back road, you find something amazing. So I always say that's, it's good to get lost.
I think my favorite phrase ever is you can never take a wrong turn on a motorcycle.
Yeah.
That's
one of my favorite sayings related to biking is sometimes you find yourself in the middle of nowhere, and sometimes in the middle of nowhere you find yourself.
Yeah, I love that. Yeah,
Me
for
too.
sure.
I'm a big fan of that one.
And I always say never miss a photo opportunity, because
we've seen this.
yeah, I will stop for the weirdest stuff that I see sometimes. I'm like, oh, a giraffe? Okay, let's stop for that.
Wait, you saw a giraffe?
Yeah. I've seen giraffes and zebras, and yeah, there's all kinds of weird stuff.
Rolling through the Serengeti,
I need mayor. I need to I said mayor because I was like, I remember her husband was the mayor, but I need neighbors like yours that have giraffes and zebras, just because.
Well, there was just this one time that literally we were around Ocala, and if you know anything about Ocala, Florida, it's nothing but like horse farms and stuff. Like a lot of rich people that own tons of horses and breeding horses and stuff like that. There's huge horse farms there, and we were riding through back roads in Ocala, past all these different horse farms and stuff, and there was this one little road to the left, and we were like, well, let's go see what's down that road. And we were trying to get back across to another road, and we turned and it dead-ended into another one, and we're like, which way, left or right? And we turned right, and when we did, on our left, there were like zebras and emus and all kinds of stuff. There was an animal sanctuary back in there that we'd never even heard of.
Cool.
It was really cool. So yeah.
Wait, was it Carol Baskin?
No, it wasn't Carol Baskin. That's further south.
that bitch Carol Baskin.
I just finished watching that series today. I said I wasn't going to do it, but I finished it today just so I could say, okay, I'm done.
My favorite phrase I learned from that whole TV show was, guess what, motherfucker?
That show was insane.
It's amazing. It's funny because it's like, if you look at, and this is going to go, I don't know, this is just my personal opinion. It's like people find the most unusual stuff like entertaining, that they know more about. Like Carol Baskin right now is probably more famous than like what's going on currently in politics, or like things that affect your daily life.
Mm-hmm.
I just found that to be rather amusing.
And that's why we hope to be that amusing on YouTube.
Don't know who the president is? Nope, but you know who the Kardashians are.
Yep, for real.
Unfortunately, my fiance's been on that bench. Watched every season.
I like the Barbara Walters interview that she did with them. She goes, "You guys don't play any musical instrument. You don't act. You don't really have any talents of any sort."
Mm-mm.
So they're like,
Savage.
Just tell it like it is.
I mean, it is what it is.
Yeah. Well, guys, I got to bounce too. I've
All right. Thank
gotta
you
get
for
back to
coming
the
on.
house. Mick, thank you for asking me
Yeah, I mean,
very much. I enjoyed it.
yeah, anytime y'all want to jump in, just feel free. Like I said, this is like a revolving door. Anyone can jump in and join, talk. But I really do appreciate you taking the time out of your day to
Of course, yeah,
be here.
of course. And Norseman, it was good to meet you.
It
I don't know what your first
pleasure.
name is, but hi.
Eddie.
Okay, it was good to meet you.
Pleasure.
All right, well, you guys have a good night. Okay.
You too.
All right,
too.
thanks so much.
So if anyone wants to join in, click that StreamYard link. Join in the conversation. You got something you want to talk about. If you guys have any questions right now, feel free to ask them in the side chat. Once again, thank you to our guests for being on here tonight. And anyone else that wants to jump in, Mr. McStash, we're going back. He's like, or has vinyl on their, or has vinyl stickers. Don't you hate vinyl on motorcycles?
I think that was an absolute dig.
I don't know about vinyl. I don't mean like that's another part of those lost arts is like people can get their tank wrapped now or their bike wrapped now versus painted. You know, getting that custom paint job versus getting the custom wrap because it's a lot less expensive.
Yeah. I don't know. It's 6 of one, half dozen of the other.
I don't know. It'd be cool to get a custom paint job. I don't know. I hate the fact that every custom Harley job has flames on it.
See, this is what it really comes down to is like, and I think with like the wraps, it's kind of like it's cheaper to do. You can get like what you want, right? But I think at the end of the day, when you get tired of it, you peel it off and you start over. You know what I mean? As opposed to like, like spend the extra money to go get it repainted or re-airbrushed or whatnot.
Yeah, I think there is a convenience aspect to it, especially when you think about like being able to change your bike. I mean, I guess that's one of the reasons I got vinyl stickers for my tank badges because he's the Russian. Oh, no, turn it sideways. A little more. There you go. Nope, still crooked. For Mother Russia.
Okay.
Yeah. Anyways. So I got vinyl tank badges for my bike so I can always change them out if I want to something different. But the big honking metal ones just really I know some of the bikes mine came with a painted Harley emblem on it, like the CVO style emblem on it, but I didn't get that lucky.
Oh, you got the actual you got the bulky belt.
Yeah, it's got it sticks out decently.
Yeah.
Typing. So going back to your custom building days, so we always like give people tidbits of you learning about the Norseman. Tell us about your building bikes more. Tell us what your first bike you built was.
The first bike I built was an actual bobber. I actually have a picture of it that I pulled up on Facebook. It was a rigid that I literally had built from like the ground up, and it was one of the ones that I rode forever. And I'm going to show you here this picture of the young Norseman on his
Rigid. Thing looks nice.
It was fun to build, and let me tell you, as the first bike, it was an absolute blast. I learned so much along this journey per se. That's when I found out that universal fit means it fits everything but what you got, and you had to customize damn near everything. And I don't know, it was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed I don't know, I don't know, I hate to take this from like Jesse James, but like that's kind of like what we are, is just glorified fabricators. I've been fabricating for a long time. And you know, I love building. I love putting it together.
Mr. McStash asked, how did you budget your first build?
Oh my God, it was a lot of research. Basically, what I ended up spending to build that bike on just parts alone was like 8.5 grand, and that was searching through Midwest catalogs, looking at swap meets. Um, there's stuff that like literally that bike was built around a set of handlebars, and I know that's like not the way to build anything, but I found these bars and I really liked them, and I'm like, I'm gonna build a bike around it, and that's exactly what I did. But yeah, to budget it out, I mean, the easiest thing I did was look up like what motor. I put an 80 cubic inch Ultima motor in there with a Ultima 5-speed tranny, 3 1/4 inch open primary. And I pretty much could build an entire bike out of the Gyri Cycle catalog.
Chubbs asked, what did you do with your builds? Did you sell them?
I'd literally, I would build a couple custom bikes, and then I would sell them off under assemblers titles, which depreciated the value drastically, but I was selling them for like 12 to 15,000.
Damn.
I would take it and, you know, buy another set of parts and, you know, start over again and just keep building one right after the other. And then the profits that I made off of them actually put me through college. I walked out of 10 years in school, and I pretty much walked out with no student loans.
Well, that's a killer way to do it.
Well, I had fun along the way. You know, you build them, you ride them. There's a couple and I hate building show bikes. Like, to me, I really like building like bobbers and like rad rod style bikes. You know, the couple that I built that were trailer queens, I would call them. You know, people would ask for huge. Do I miss any of them? Kicking yourself for selling a favorite. My first one, that rigid that I showed you, I sold to a guy in Bosnia, and that's the bike I miss the most. I spent a lot of years riding that bike, and I miss it just because it was fun to ride, and there was just I don't know. I'm the type of person that like holds on to like unusual things that will remind me of other things. I'm like very like, what's the word I'm looking for?
Nostalgic.
Not nostalgic per se, but like, you know, like, I don't know, when I go places, I'll like buy something and hold on to it in like a memory box, you know, just so that like I'm going through and I go, oh shit, I remember this. We were doing this, this, and this, you know? And I appreciate that kind of stuff. But that's the only bike I ever like really wish I just didn't sell, but I couldn't ride it anymore. My back was between the back and the kidneys. That probably like escalated the 2 back surgeries that I've had.
So when did you get the Road King?
The Road King I got like probably about 4 years ago. The funny story behind that is because it's like I wanted a Softail, and one of our club brothers was telling me, he goes, you need to get yourself like a Road King or like a tour bike because you'll appreciate the comfort on them. And I kept telling him, I'm like, I'm not ready for an old man's bike. Not, you know, it's not what I was looking for. But we found one in Howell, and I went down there, test rode it, and I was just absolutely impressed on how comfortable and how much I liked it, even as it was a bone stock 97. And I absolutely loved the ride. And then from there, it just basically used it as a, because I can't keep anything as is. I basically left it alone for like 6 months. And then from there, it was, we're going to change this, we're going to change out that. Ended up tearing it down one winter over, like just basically down to just the frame and the drivetrain. Took the front end off of it, took a bunch of stuff out for powder coating, blacked it out. And I don't know, I hate jumping on bandwagons where when flat black was the in thing, but like I liked flat black for a long time. And that's something that I've always wanted was flat black, white walls, and wrapped exhaust, and that's kind of where I went with it.
I always wondered that question in my mind. It's like, is it a real Harley if it's gloss black or flat black? Because they never specify if you buy a Harley, it's got to be black, but they never specify value on the dark one or the black. Oh, trouble joined.
What's up?
What's up, Patrick?
What's up, Patrick?
What's going on, guys?
Oh, talking about custom built bikes. Oh, yeah, that's right. You're working on one right now.
Yes, for sure.
So you got to tell us about it now.
Well, it started out a 84 Suzuki GS 450 sort of sport bike looking thing, but I did away with all the body work, all the original frame. It's a ground up piece now. I'm making all the frame myself. More or less, the only original shit will be the forks, the rims, and the engine. Everything else will be handmade. Raymond
H says, I've never liked flashy. I haven't either. That's why I blacked out my heritage, too. I was getting more blacked out right now. I like that subtle, I don't want to say chaos, but yeah, it is. It's like that subtle chaos, to a properly blacked out bike still touches. I think a completely blacked out bike is
sinister.
Like I don't know, if you get a fully blacked out bike, it looks okay, but like everyone does a completely blacked out bike. Like my bike, the reason I did it the way I did is I wanted those touches of chrome everywhere, so then it highlights the black versus overtakes it.
That is a lot like my original plan for the bike I'm building, was to be mostly blacked out, but have just little splashes of polished metal here and there. A little bit like polished, like a black motor with polished fins, polished lower fork tubes, black rims with like a polished edge, and some polish on the fins, because it's got like honeycomb looking like mag wheels on it. Like the back rim, the brake hub is polished. Shit like that. It'll mostly black, but polished here, little polished bits here and there to pop on it. But I'm half-assed thinking about doing a custom paint job on the frame now.
You know what I'm a really big fan of? Are any of you familiar with Exile Cycles?
It sounds familiar, but
What did you say?
Exile Cycles.
Oh, okay. Sounds familiar with that.
Me neither.
So if you look up Exile, they have a bike called the Mad Max.
Turn that down.
They have a few of them, but I love the there's no chrome on them. It's all literally flat black and just brushed metal.
Oh shit!
I love
Nice.
There's no chrome on them. It's all
man.
flat black and just,
Hey, brother.
Hi, guys.
Oh shit!
Hey,
So we got another person from the area,
there's no chrome on them.
Norseman.
Sup? Sup?
Hey,
And
brother.
he's actually a real.
Oh, it's on. Oh, you can turn it off. I had YouTube up and this.
What?
We're blessed by a real YouTuber that actually has more than me by far.
Where's he at?
There's nothing
Behind me?
going
No.
No.
So before we go, like, so this is, well, I guess Bertoni Motors now, but originally was the Berlin Biker.
It was. It was when I was living in Germany.
Literally,
My social presence over there riding motorcycles.
yeah, dude. And I always like the bike. So, like, we ride Harleys.
Yeah.
You ride. Patrick rides something. He's got
Really?
Don't be.
no. I'm saying, like, he's got options.
Don't be.
It's like he can't fix his mouth to say the words. Kawasaki.
You still got one you're assembling. You still got the Lego set over there.
I do.
But Bertoni Motors,
What's up? Yeah.
he rides a bunch of actually really cool bikes.
I've got a few bikes. I have a 73 Triumph MX 125. So like Triumph's first foray into like motocross. So I have that bike. I have a 2019 Royal Enfield Continental GT 650.
I want that.
Oh, you're a fucking connoisseur.
Have that, and then I actually take delivery of my new Ducati tomorrow.
There you go.
Yeah.
Hey man, can I borrow like $100 or something?
I have no money. I just spend it all on bikes.
It's like, sorry,
Wait, what Ducati did you go with, or can you say?
So like, well, no one knows. So I originally ordered the Street Fighter V4S in October of last year, and because of everything going on in Italy right now and COVID, factories are delayed. So my bike, even though I was supposed to have one of the first bikes in the US, won't come until November.
Oh shit.
And I'm like, I'm not going to buy a bike and then have it sit in my garage for 6 months until riding season again starts.
Well, you got to make sure it don't have the virus.
Right. I'm going to have to disinfect the shit out of it, like spray it down and then spray it down again. So Charlie, the owner of the Ducati Detroit, let me borrow the Panigale V2, which is their like 955cc super sport bike. And the one I rode had so much Italian chrome. It was like carbon everything. It had a full acro exhaust, and it was fucking tits. It was so torquey. That engine is just spectacular. Like third gear, the front wheel just wants to lift. And that was the first time I've like really ridden and enjoyed a sports bike. I've always been like naked bikes or, classics like cafe bikes, things like that. So that's what I'm picking up.
It's like, oh, hey, bro, can I borrow your Panigale? Oh,
Yeah.
sure, man. Go ahead.
I still want a Royal Enfield Himalayan. I actually
The Himalayan is such a sick bike. Like that value for dollar, you can't beat it.
No, and I think people are like, oh, it doesn't like they're like, oh, it doesn't have all this horsepower and stuff, but it's like, you looked at the torque numbers on that little motor, like it's meant to
400cc single. That's all you need. The bike weighs nothing. It's whatever. It's great, and it's $4,000.
And that's
Show me where you can buy a new bike for $4,000.
Hiya, son.
Ural.
Euro.
a Ural.
You're all urine.
Urine.
That's on my list.
If someone wants to buy my urine for $4,000, let me know.
I love this guy.
But no, it's actually, fuck, dude, man. I've been looking like you're doing. I don't know how I'm gonna hire you for Instagram because my shit sucks.
Yo, whatever you want to shoot. I love photography.
That's the one thing I do want to do is like when I get the heritage done. Dude, so I guess I can't talk about that in the live stream right now because that's actually trade secrets at the moment.
Oh.
I got reached out to by one of the companies I'm a brand ambassador for.
There's only 4 of us, bro. Who are we going to tell?
I don't know. I just want to be very careful.
Okay, that's cool. I dig it.
I'm super fucking excited right now.
You want to tell us, don't you?
Is it a
I
bike
do.
company?
He so wants to tell us. Hold up, here it comes. Look, he's about to break. I can see it on his face.
I actually cannot talk about it right now. No, seriously, when it comes up on the channel, it'll probably be one of the first of its kind on a motorcycle.
Oh, news breaking.
Well,
There you go. You already told us that much. You might as well just tell us now.
or I should say the first of its kind on my motorcycle, like the certain line of Harleys. I'll have the first one that goes on my bike.
Ooh, see,
Parts
look.
for your bike.
Yeah, it's a parts that's for FL Softails.
Is it made by Harley-Davidson?
No,
Is it a sex
Oh.
toy that's going to replace the seat?
I already have the dildo on there. Don't worry about it.
Okay, cool.
Every time I sit on my seat, I get fucked.
By the time this is over, we're gonna know
That's the
exactly
hobby
what
we
you're
have,
talking
though.
about.
It's the most expensive
suction
fucking hobby
cup.
we have.
Yeah, no, it's I really I mean I'm super excited right now. But yeah, I've always wanted to figure out how the hell because like my heritage and my Sportster are like I've always wanted to have. I've got this Nikon like what I started making YouTube videos on was this flip screen Sony something A380 or something like that. It was like we got it, was filming, ended up getting my first GoPro at the end of the season, then didn't get a mic adapter till the very end of the season, and I forgot what the fuck I was going with this, honestly.
You were spilling the fucking beans, bro. That's what you was doing.
Yeah. What I understand is that you have some sort of camera device that's going to be the first one on your.
Oh no.
Okay, never mind.
No.
If we would have just let him keep talking, he would have spilled the fucking beans.
Yeah.
Luckily, he derailed.
Right.
Yeah, dude, straight up, like Michigan's a great place because everything's legal. Anyways,
True.
Yeah,
that's like the best thing about Michigan so far. Like, so I'm new in Michigan, right? I've only been here for a year, and coming from Germany, like everything has to be government approved. So like if I changed my grips on my bike, I had to take it to the government office for them to like okay it. Or anytime I would get pulled over by a cop or something, or they'd walk by, they could like bring up photos of my bike on their like handheld device and be like, these are aftermarket. We're gonna boot his fucking bike.
You have outlaw grips on your bike. You're busted.
Right. Just and it's like anything. It's literally grips. Like if you put like a fender eliminator kit, nope, you have to go straight to the government office and show them what you have.
Wow.
Yeah. Out of curiosity, like how much of the stuff that you had changed, like that you took over there, they actually knew what they were looking at?
I never actually took it over. I changed a lot of shit on that bike, and not a lot was legal. Yeah,
breaking the law.
I bought it this way.
Problem.
Yeah, I was like, this is a totally stock bike. That's definitely not flashed and bored.
Oh, so that means I got to make you take your Royal Enfield over the Mackinac Bridge.
Beat that bike, yeah.
I feel like you'd probably die. I mean, if it pushed a gremlin over a bridge.
I've never been to the UP. Yeah.
Oh, dude.
I know.
We're taking you.
I'm down.
We are taking you.
Except for like we have saddlebags, so.
Yeah, you're just gonna hold my stuff.
It's okay. I'll carry your shit. It's all good.
Yeah.
I'll carry your shit.
Damn crotch rocket riders.
Wow.
No, someone was talking about that bike
weird.
today on YouTube, and they called it a pasta rocket.
Oh
no. Yeah, if it's an
fucking
Italian
love
sport
that.
bike, it's a pasta rocket.
It's a pasta rocket.
That's like the S1000RR, the Beamer. It's a brat rocket.
Oh my god, so good.
Do you know the Michigan State Police have S1000 RRs?
Well, they're tired of fucking being on slow ass Harleys, apparently.
No, they got some kind of dealer like that, but those bikes are fucking ridiculous. Like I honestly was messing around with them. Like so, when I first got my Heritage,
Never mind.
I had a couple. I was heading on to Hall, like I was on Hall Road, but it was turning into M59, and I had the state police pull up, and then like the one dude rolled up and he's like, "Hey man, like ask me about the bike." He's like, "How quick is it?" I was like, "I don't know." And he's like, he looked, no, dude, straight up, he was there like, "Let's find out." And I had them on the start, but eventually, you know, S1000RR.
As soon as you went square over the speed limit, that's when he got behind you.
No, dude, I got up on that Heritage the way it sat. I got up to like 112.
I would love for a cop to say that to me.
Yeah.
That's the benefits of buying a first generation of a motorcycle that has a big motor and a small frame.
Like, oh, you think your bike's fast? Because I got busted one time, and the cop looked at my Speedo, and he was like, "Jesus Christ!" He said, "Does this thing go that fast?" I said, "I couldn't tell you.
I've never been out of third, officer. I swear.
I don't even know what you're talking about. I don't know. Is it that fast? My Speedo registers 200.
Just make sure that before you get stopped and you can check at it, break your speedometer. Be like, "Oh, I didn't know how fast I was going."
That
Yeah,
shit's busted.
So not only do you get the speeding ticket, but you get the faulty equipment ticket to go with it.
And your bike gets impounded anyway.
Harleys don't go that fast. That's hey, you know what? You know what? If you ever get pulled over on a Harley and you want to get out of a ticket, just make sure they get you for like reckless endangerment for going too fast. Because the judge is going to look at that, laugh, and be like, "Go away."
It's like getting a speeding ticket in my minivan.
Look at you with your fancy mask.
The family's heading out of the house and everybody's wearing masks. So it looks like they're going to go rob a bank or something.
Good luck.
Uh-oh. I did that, dude.
Oh, that's hilarious.
I had a whole section of video from Tuesday I didn't put in there where I was like, "Oh man, the registration on the Sportster's expired." So I go up to Meyer because they got the kiosk now in there, so you can. Oh, also, if you've been here a year, use the Secretary of State kiosk. Don't go into the place.
What is? So I don't have my. Okay, what? I don't have my Michigan driver's license yet. So like that's like my first appointment.
Oh,
And like,
okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, you got to do that. But once you have to start doing your registration after a year, just go to the kiosk.
Yeah, the kiosk very easy.
And most people don't know they exist.
I did my registration for my bikes last week, and I just did it all online.
Oh, you can do that too.
Yeah, I didn't have to do anything. It was super easy.
The kiosk just prints out the sticker.
Oh, that's nice.
So you don't have to wait for it. It prints out your registration. And the new stuff they have now isn't the paper anymore. It's like a waterproof material. So I guess
Like the actual sticker.
No, I'm talking like the actual registration itself where it says here. It doesn't have the perforation or you tear anymore. You actually have to cut it because it's this heavy duty like waterproof material. So I'm guessing they listen to people when they're like, "Yeah, my registration's in my back pocket. Run through a rainstorm and goodbye."
Hey, Patrick.
Yeah, right now my bike has an expired tag and no insurance.
Am I the only one that's current?
I'm current.
I think you are.
No, my Sportster's current now. I was saying like I rode up to Meyer and I walked in I left my helmet on.
Go on and
Just
tell
walking through the store.
the insurance company.
You want to talk about like you guys are gonna playing games like that wearing a little mask? I got a whole helmet and I'm not taking it off, and it's got a mirrored visor, so who knows?
No idea what I'm talking to.
Damn, Mick's taking us to the gun show. Flex player,
no.
flex.
Eh.
Like
Damn, big boy.
No, dude, the UP is probably some of the best riding. Like I've driven through there. I've never taken the bike through there, but like driving through there is probably the most like scenic thing you'll ever see.
Yeah.
It's absolutely. I mean, I'm not gonna lie. I've been up there numerous times, and it's always something to see, and it's absolutely gorgeous. You know, if you take the scenic route getting up there, because I don't know where in Michigan you're residing these days, but like,
yeah, Birmingham.
oh, you're in Birmingham.
Yeah.
All right, I'm in Waterford. So,
what the modifications are.
but like,
All right.
hopping on 75,
Mhm.
going up to the bridge, you don't see
So
much of
tired of being the one
But
that's.
you-
Oh, you get to see the windmills.
Yeah, well, yeah, you really
Okay.
don't much just going straight up the middle. But if you venture off this way
Okay.
and go to the west side of the state, Tunnel of Trees is up through here, Petoskey, Traverse City, literally riding the coast all the way up. It's very scenic, a lot of small towns, a lot of like cool shit to see. And then once you get across the bridge, I could tell you from
The bridge.
Point,
He downplayed the bridge.
Don't worry about the bridge.
okay, the bridge is
Why is everyone warning about the bridge?
It's 480 feet.
It's crazy. It's crazy.
It's 485 feet tall, like high up over the water,
Okay.
and you can look straight down.
And some of it,
Cool.
it's like a graded bridge. You can look right through the floor. You can see the fall.
How big are the grades? Like, is it big enough to like catch a wheel?
That's yet to be determined.
The smallest one I've seen, the opening on the grate was like 4 foot by 5 foot.
Enough to swallow a Honda Grom.
Kidding.
You know.
Cool.
No, it's standard grading. The biggest thing is that because you're so high up, there's a cross breeze that goes through there, and you literally feel like you're just the whole time.
Yeah. If you don't fall through the grate to your death, the wind will blow you right the fuck off the bridge. It's a good time.
Sounds great. I love it. Yeah. Can't wait.
He's like, oh, I'm super psyched. Let's go.
I'm going to push my bike across this bridge.
It's a 5-mile bridge.
Holy shit.
It's 6 miles long, thank you.
And I'm just throwing this out there, that initial push, remember, bridges go up before they come back down.
Oh yeah, dude, it's like level. Then
good arm workout.
The Mackinac Bridge is cool because it goes straight and then it just goes up. Like
it's gonna be burning. But
me and that guy are on the same page. You and you.
Eventually, you'll get there. There you go.
Are fucked up.
It's not that bad. Trust me.
Oh, dude, I'm just joking. I don't give a fuck. I'll ride anywhere. If the bike in front of me is going over it, I'm going over it. I don't care.
Yeah, until it happens to be a guardrail.
Well, I ain't gonna follow somebody over the guardrail. That's just stupid.
By your logic, that's exactly what you're about to do.
No, I'm not.
If the bike in front of me is going there, I'm gonna go there. Off the bridge.
Goodbye.
Have a good night, Raymond. Raymond's out of here. Thanks for stopping by, Raymond.
Not me, player.
But up in the UP, once you get up there, literally Whitefish Point all the way to the Porkies.
You like photography, right?
Yeah.
So much to see up there.
You can take a picture of your bike next to a shipwreck.
Yeah, it's cool.
And you get up into Copper Harbor, like literally you can see the abandoned dredgers from the copper mines.
Mm-hmm.
Literally like right there.
So when you get across that bridge, are you camping out or are you staying at a hotel?
Either or.
There's cabins. We're not uncultured swine like the people south of us.
Oh, you fucker. God damn it.
How did it go in that video? The glorious state that's about to bitch smack the rest of the Midwest and resting its glorious nuts upon their Buckeyes below.
Really?
You know, if you put a map of America on the wall, the only reason Ohio doesn't slide off of it is because Michigan sucks.
Yeah, because hey, where do you live? I live in Michigan. Oh, what state is that? Oh, you're from Ohio. What state is that?
Oh, you fucker. Now I really hate you.
It's okay. The rest of the Midwest hates you guys. We're in concurrence. Oh, by the way, if you don't know, you're just been up here a year. If you live in Michigan, you automatically hate Ohio.
I've been told that.
Well,
Actually, dude,
you automatically hate Michigan. It's fucking snowbound.
It is, but also we don't lose to Alabama every year in every bowl game.
That's because you fuckers don't have a team that plays Alabama.
Look,
yeah, but not making it to the stage.
Hey,
that means we just don't get humiliated.
Awesome.
Will you stop?
That means we don't get humiliated in front of the whole world. We do it privately like the Japanese.
Do I really have to be go-between between you and my wife?
Actually, one of my things I want to do this summer is down in Cleveland. There's actually Cleveland Cycle Works. It's actually a motorcycle company down there. I want to go.
Yeah, they make those dope electric bikes.
Yeah, that, and they got actual motorcycles too. They're like cafe racer style.
Yeah,
Cleveland Cycle Works. I thought maybe they built like big wheels that hauled garbage or something.
No, man, they actually make some pretty sweet cafe racers.
Let me find the link. It's pretty cool stuff.
I was just being sarcastic. No offense to anybody in Cleveland. I don't even watch football for that matter.
Fuck Ohio. Every intent intended.
Jesus Christ, you hateful bastard.
Don't worry about it.
I'm not worried about it. I didn't say I liked Ohio. I just said you was a hateful bastard.
Guess what, motherfucker?
What?
Gotta throw the Joe
What?
Exotic. Gotta throw the Joe Exotic quotes out there every once in a while. Okay, no, literally on the radio stations up here, it's called The Rip. There's literally a segment called Florida's Fucked Up, like
Well, that's true.
every day.
Yeah.
Well, I'm glad you dislike Florida almost as much as y'all hate Ohio.
Oh no, we don't dislike Florida. Are you kidding?
Oh shit. Man, I cannot win with you, motherfucker.
What's up,
Damn.
Don Rain? No one can ever win with me. It's a never-ending circle of sarcasm.
I am unaffected by your sarcasm, so
It's okay.
Have
The
at
rest, it's okay. The rest of your state is.
I hope they are, because I hate the rest of these bastards live here. I don't even like living here myself.
No, dude. Actually, if the drag racing season does happen, I will be down by your house, and I think it's July.
Bring that shit down.
Patrick, where
I live
are you?
15 minutes away from the drag strip, brother. I'd be glad to go down there and humiliate myself.
Oh no, mine would be NHRA. Oh yeah. By the way, everyone,
Oh,
I'm working. I get my NHRA license this year.
No shit. I do not have an NHRA license. All the shit I've done has been street racing. Will you quit doing special effects? God. It's like I'm being mocked by my wife.
Hey, you guys are in Ohio. It's just called effects.
Oh,
Wow.
ouch. I tuned in for this shit. What the fuck?
Thanks for the watch time, dick.
Hey,
No,
Pat,
but
That is awesome. Because I'm not a butthurt little bitch. That kind of shit doesn't faze me at all. And that's the type of off-color shit I would say to somebody else, and they would get all mad and hateful, and I'd be the biggest asshole on the planet. And
like every person that owns a Kawasaki. Anyways, what were you about to ask, Norseman?
oh no, I was just kind of scrolling through the chat, and were you think you can have problems like registering your custom built?
I've not yet built a custom bike yet. I mean, that might be in the works, but I have yet to build
I'm
one.
talking
So
about
No, it's not in the works.
no, I was talking about
It
Pat.
will happen.
registering your custom bike, Patrick.
I am concerned. I don't think it will meet standard. I don't know what the standards are.
So
I don't know what the laws are for like seat height, like tail light height.
This you're not gonna have a problem, and I'll tell you why. They're not gonna look at like seat height, handlebar height, unless it's overly extreme. But what you do need to do is keep all your receipts, your bills of sale, or your bills of purchase for all your parts, because they're gonna register it off your motor.
Oh wow!
So anytime, and I don't think it's any different in Ohio than it is in Michigan, but anytime I would register my bikes, I would literally take all my receipts for like my motor, my transmission, all the serial numbers off of that. I would submit that to the Secretary of State, and what they'll do there is they'll actually send somebody out to inspect your bike, and when they inspect your bike, they'll just
I really don't have receipts for most of that stuff. I really don't. I don't even have a receipt for purchasing the bike.
Well, here's the thing, because I know you're making your own frame, right?
Yes.
All right. So what you can do is, if you write yourself up a bill of sale to yourself and stamp whatever numbers in there, all they're going to do is they want to check it and make sure that what you got is yours and yours alone. So like the motor's got to have some sort of paperwork.
It had a serial number on it, but whoever sold it to me grinded that shit off. So The motor,
All
the bike may even be stolen.
That didn't
Then-
sound sketchy from the beginning.
That may be.
Well, it was a old ass,
normal for
junky
Ohio
ass bike.
people?
So
would
I
have
didn't
so
think
many
shit. I
questions.
didn't think shit about it.
Yeah,
You know,
then
it
you may
was
have
in
a problem.
really bad shape.
Yeah, then you may have a problem because what I ended up doing with mine is I just took basically when I built my own frame, I basically didn't even include any paperwork with the frame itself because I built it myself. And then
And that's what I'm doing. I'm making my own frame.
then the engine, the transmission all have serial numbers on it, and then I bought those obviously from Ultima, which came with a bill of sale and submitted everything to the SOS. They went ahead and sent out an inspector, and he literally put a Michigan VIN on the neck of the bike.
Well, what I have is an old ass, junky ass Suzuki motor. It's probably stolen at some point. I don't know if the guy I bought it from stole it, but somebody grinded the damn numbers off the engine.
Yeah, that's going to be a problem.
So basically, it's a homemade frame
Where's the VIN at on that bike?
right on the crankcase on the engine. Like I said, I don't have the whole bike. I just have all the parts.
I wonder if you could buy a new crankcase for it and get a new VIN put on there, or like a blank VIN.
Well, I'm hoping having a blank VIN on the motor and custom frame and everything else being handmade.
Well, if
I can just get a build title for it.
I think if they see the grind on there, they might ask questions though when they're inspecting it.
That's going to
be. I don't know if it will. Well, when I take it to be looked at, it won't look grinded.
I would say if I were you, I'd just get a crankcase off somewhere, like a used one, and swap that VIN.
That's really hard to do.
Or is it?
I don't know.
Like I said, I don't know if I can't get it through and get it registered. Fuck it. I'll just make a bullshit drag bike out of it, and we'll see how fast a Suzuki 450 can go.
Dude, I saw a dirt bike that was running pretty damn fast, like 9-second quarter miles.
Two strokes are quick as hell.
Yeah.
Like I think it was quick.
You scream like raped apes.
But they're annoying as hell.
I had a KTM 300 two-stroke for a while as an enduro bike, and that is honestly probably the quickest bike I've ever had. It fucking scares the shit out of me every time I would twist it. It was so much fun.
Two strokes will rip.
Yeah. Like I have this
they will almost wheelie in any fucking gear.
Yeah. Like I want that bike now, and I want to supermoto it just for the streets. Like you would have so much fun on that bike, and your front wheel would never touch the ground. It would be amazing.
That would be bad.
Yeah.
I had a buddy.
An old Yamaha, like an RD200 or the RD400, and like making it into a cafe racer. Been thinking about that a lot because there's not enough two-strokes on the road anymore. I miss the smell.
I had a buddy that bought an FNS Racing 250 Suzuki RM 250. It was one of their end of the season race bikes. And he bought it, and that thing was a monster.
Oh yeah.
It was pencils. It was really skinny. It was weird to be on it because it was so skinny.
Yeah.
But that bike would pull the front wheel in any gear. If you was in fourth gear and you cracked it, it would stand up.
Yeah, when you're talking about like 55, 60 pounds of torque and a bike that weighs 200 pounds, it's fucking nothing but acceleration.
It was 100-mile-an-hour dirt bike.
Yeah.
Well, the only downside two strokes
at any point in that entire gear range, it would pull the front wheel. It was scary quick.
Yeah.
I still think durability on like a two-stroke versus a four-stroke is kind of a downside to it, though.
100%.
Like it'd be cool to have a bike like that, but it's like if you turn it into a street bike, really how far could you go without having to rebuild it? Especially with like overheating and stuff.
Honestly, probably farther than you think. Probably, well, with modern technology,
Dude,
probably farther than you think.
That two-stroke's gonna overheat in traffic.
My
Well,
Royal Enfield fucking overheats. in
really
traffic.
shouldn't be in traffic on a two-stroke.
Well, you're not gonna have.
But you're right. As a modern day motorcycle, it's not very practical. They're very snappy.
They're fun, but yeah, you just can't.
You're asking it to do something it's not meant to do.
Right.
Exactly. That's not what it's meant for. But you do see two-strokes on the starting line sitting there for a long time because they run best when they're hot. So traffic wouldn't be the worst thing a two-stroke ever seen because they run best when they're hot.
They do, but at the same time, if you're just in stop and go on like a 90-degree day in Michigan, like that road definitely feels a lot
Fuck
hotter.
Michigan. Who the fuck is going to live there? That place is a hellhole.
There's 3 out of 5%.
We have this person called Eminem. He's kind of famous. Tim Allen.
I've never heard of that guy.
Tim Allen did cocaine in Kalamazoo and got arrested. Actually,
Who hasn't?
Eminem. Who
unfortunately,
the fuck is that?
that's a very valid point. But yeah, it's. I think they're cool, but I think as an everyday bike, they might be a novelty. And the reason I say that is because I have. Oh, did I say hi to Donna Main? Hi, Donna Main. What's up? That's stoned. Anyways. No, I mean, like the way they did my bike, right? With that Milwaukee 8 with the 4 valves or 4 valves per head. I'll be perfectly technically correct. And the hemispherical heads, everything like that, that performance is in mind. Like I would put that thing up against most bikes, most cruisers, I should say, for fun. And I mean, because the problem is like most import bikes, and I'd say like Honda Shadows, things like that, they're going to be a lot of they're going to be a lot more geared toward like the horsepower aspect. Whereas, you know, Harley's American made bikes, the V-Twins, geared towards that torque. And so when you go to like a two-stroke and I guess there's still two-stroke motorcycles from back in the day, but I think in today's world with traffic being the way it is, it's unfortunately a novelty kind of thing, but they're fun as hell. I wish I could just wheelie over people's cars.
Yeah, it's definitely a novelty. The idea of like still having to like mix gas and all of that makes it even more difficult to like do any sort of miles on it. But I think it's more of just like a nostalgia of the sound and smell of it. And it just like nothing's gonna piss off a bunch of people than a fucking screaming two-stroke coming down fucking Woodward.
It just sounds like an angry moped. Like it sounds just like
a bunch of fucking angry bees in a can. Such a good sound, puffing away blue smoke. Like, love it.
I figured out
like you can't fucking hate that.
I've figured out something.
You haven't had any run-ins with the Birmingham police.
Not yet.
Dude. Yeah, Birmingham.
Not yet. But I've only been here for a few weeks, and I know that's going to happen.
So I'm going to tell you this: Royal Oak, Birmingham, with anything that sounds like it's moving fast, they're going to stop you. They do not like bikers.
Yeah, I got pulled over on my bike for going the speed limit. Just because when I accelerated, it sounded loud.
Yep. And a lot of I can tell you that Birmingham and Royal Oak both have noise ordinances. I've actually had my pipes when they were stock. Okay, they actually shoved a stick in there to make sure that there was a muffler in there.
Oh, well, I'm running like open drag pipes on my Royal, and it's loud as fuck.
Yes,
nice.
Yeah, I think my new one. I mean, all the shit from my bike removes the catalytic converter, so that's not good for me. Especially, I'm actually intrigued to see how these new pipes are gonna, new pipe is gonna sound. Just because it's opening it up so much more, and I got to retune my bike. Damn it, that's a lot of work.
Dude, on my project bike, I'm cutting them pipes fucking short. Fuck mufflers. It's
Agreed.
not a big bike. It's not a high horsepower bike. It's never going to be a super fast bike, but it's going to be loud.
But you lose power when you do that.
I don't care. It has no power to begin with.
That's my thought as well. My Royal's only making like 44 horsepower. Like, I'm not going to lose much.
Yeah, it's not a high horsepower bike in the first place. At least people will hear me.
Honestly, if I could, I won't going back to what I was talking about earlier. If I could pick one bike, I would buy some form of Triumph, and probably the Triumph Tiger, just because
The new Tigers are great.
they just look
900 Rally GT.
I like-
That's an interesting
Dude,
bike.
a guy your size should be on a Rocket 3, bro.
Nah, dude.
Because I seen you riding that Sportster. I ain't gonna say it, but you look like you was wrestling a pony.
Big man in a little coat.
This is true.
Little goat.
but my motorcycle's on the road.
Oh, ouch, bro!
I might be a big man on a little pony, but at least I can ride it.
Damn.
Oh.
You thought you got
me.
me.
He really goes for the throat, don't he?
You ever back Joe Exotic into a corner and you know what happens?
Do what? Back who into a corner?
Joe Exotic.
Who are we backing into a corner?
Guess
You
what,
get zero
motherfucker? No, it's
Yeah.
I love my Sportster. It's a fun bebop around town bike. It's got a lot of power to it for what it's fun. But my Heritage is a completely different animal. It has way more
Well,
power
yeah.
than that
Have
bike.
Donkey Kong on it. It's a faster machine.
No, it's because I have 114 cubic inches of freedom.
Oh. Wait, I don't know what Heritage is. I had to Google it.
Oh, a Heritage Softail.
Okay.
20. You just. Yeah, Bertoni Motorcycles followed you on Instagram. Like, it's all over Instagram. My scooters are on there.
I don't know much about that Harley life. I've only ridden 3 Harleys in my life.
Harley Quinn, Harley J, and Harley.
I would be totally happy to ride any of those Harleys.
Very much so.
No, man. Once you get past the initial Harley culture and actually find the people that ride to ride, it's just like every other person riding a motorcycle. Like I said, I got some weird bikes that I want, like a Royal Enfield, I want a Honda Grom.
Every episode.
Oh, don't get me
want-
started on that Grom shit.
I want a fucking Grom, and I almost ordered that.
You belong on a Grom.
I have a picture on my Instagram of me on a Grom. Go check it out. At the motorcycle Mick. It is, dude. You feel seriously, big wheel bicycle dude from back in the day wearing the penguin suit. You feel like that, and it's epic. It is.
Dude, little bikes are a blast to ride. I'm not gonna lie. I built a couple really nice mini bikes, and I had a friend of mine. He was like 6'3", fucking 350 pounds, and the one mini bike I built, it had a bigger motor. One of them had a 3-horse, and the other one had like a 9-horse on it. And me and him would cruise the neighborhood, and he was not a bike rider, but we just had so much fun pimping around the neighborhood on them fucking mini bikes. It was a blast, man. Being on a small bike is a blast. It's hilarious.
The first motorcycle I've ever ridden was a Honda Trail 70, like that style.
Been on one of those,
and dude, those are it was. But it's your first time really using the clutch, using all that kind of learning the bike.
Yep.
And dude, I friggin' loved it. It's just like the little bikes, it is. You have the most fun on, because when you're on a Harley, people always intend for people on Harleys, they always think it's the serious thing. But I've done some crazy ass funny stuff on my channel just on my Harley, jumping off my Sportster, or no, it's the Heritage. Jumping off the bike, shutting it off, jumping off at a stoplight to hand some kids some spam cards. And the light turns green while I'm still off the motorcycle.
Well, you have spam cards? Let it have your logo and stuff on it?
Yeah.
Yo, fuck, I need some of those.
Yeah, dude, I have a
Just
QR.
gotta get no spam
mine
cards.
mine has a QR code on it. You can scan it. Takes you right to my channel.
Damn.
Just gotta be that dude. I mean,
God, I wish I could go to Vegas and get like a stack of those like stripper cards and just put my QR code on top of it.
Oh, dude,
Oh, that's what I work
we're going to Vegas.
I mean, that would
I love this guy.
Just like you gotta put it in the bottom corner so it looks like it belongs there. Like they can scan, like
Oh,
see
yeah.
the girl, and it's like, who the fuck is the motorcycle Mick?
And just like the fuck with people, like say to scratch and sniff.
Oh shit! Wow, he said scratch and sniff.
Dude, I think I got spam cards when I had like 100. Once I hit 100 subscribers, I got spam cards.
You've had them for a while.
Yeah, I think it's at 100 subscribers. I got spam cards, and now I've got the stickers and everything.
If Mick had scratch and sniff spam cards, I would just stop following this motherfucker immediately.
Scratch it. It smells like two-stroke.
Right? A two-stroke Harley rider. Two-stroke and old leather.
Dude, I've been watching a show with it's got Norman Reedus, so the guy from the Boondock Saints, on Amazon.
All right, with Norman Reedus, that's just the bomb.
I want to try and get him over to Michigan to ride up in the UP and across the bridge.
Dude, he should jump on that.
Because
I love that show, man. He's a dedicated bike guy.
He is, dude, but he's got to try.
Do It With Dan was actually in one of them episodes of Walking Dead with him and his bobber.
I did not know that.
They put Do It With Dan and his bobber bike. His bobber bike was way in the front with the guy that was talking shit, but Do It With Dan was way in the back as an extra. And it was one of them scenes where the bikers catch him on the road and they're threatening to kill him, and dude comes out with a grenade launcher and levels all the bikers. And Do It With Dan was saying when they were offset, Norman Reedus came walking through and he was like, "Oh, I like this bike. Whose bike is this?" And Do It With Dan said, "Oh, that's my bike." You know, because Norman Reedus thought it was one of the company bikes. He was about ready to take off on it. And Do It With Dan said, "Well, that's my bike. If you want to, go ahead and ride it." And he's like, "Oh, that's a nice bike. And, I'm good. I won't ride it." But it was in an actual scene of The Walking Dead. The bike was out front and Do It With Dan was way in the back.
See, OG people know him from the Boondock Saints. The real.
I love the Boondock Saints. That shit's cool as hell.
Yeah, I would love to get about here to ride the Mackinac Bridge and go through the UP, because that's a trip like no other.
It is.
Like, in Whitefish Point is probably one of the most best places to get a picture of your bike with something. Just the way it sits.
Dude, I'm going to tell you this. There's like so many places up there that you can like, I don't know. I joke around and call them senior pics. You could definitely like do like a lot of photography up there. There's so much to see. There's so much like landmarks, landmasses, points of interest. A lot of lighthouses. I mean, just to be able to see Superior, like Google Lake in the Clouds, and I'm telling you, you'll appreciate the mere fact of like just scenery in all its glory.
No, and like on the trip up to the UP through Michigan, up 75 is like, you can tell when you get past what normal is, because you start seeing a lot more like pine trees, stuff like that. They got the windmill farms up there. If I remember correctly, I'm trying to remember where Jay's Sporting Goods is, or if it's still open. But I don't know who that is. KR. Hello?
He said hello.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. No.
Wrong one.
I bet you know. So earlier we had Wet Banana Mike on here, and I got 2 different emails, and then the third one was the right one. But so I sent the StreamYard link to 2 different people that I have no idea who the hell I am. It's funny. So
What I like to do is jump onto like random live casts.
I kind of
That's
want
what
to
I do.
See, like you can't search live streams because like I just want to find people live streaming like motorcycle stuff on YouTube, and you can't do that, and it sucks.
There's a business to be built there.
I don't know. I'm waiting for something an alternative to YouTube to come out. See what happens with that.
Twitch is kind of there.
Is it just like uploading videos, or can you, I know it's live streaming, but like can you like upload videos and stuff like that on there, or is it just more live?
More live. Facebook is pushing to become more of like a YouTube alternative. And they're trying to like get more people to do it because they're going to give you more money. So that isn't always increase. What you got there? A piece of broccoli?
Rookie stuff.
Oregano.
Oh, that's nice.
I got
You
89.
know what it
I got 89% that says differently.
I love broccoli. Broccoli is good.
It's a vegetable.
That's true.
It is. It makes me a vegetable.
All right, guys, we're at our 2-hour mark that this normally goes to. I'm going to cut it off there because I'm getting hungry.
Man, fuck that.
Yeah, I'm getting hungry. So
Dude, we're all hanging out.
thank you, everyone, for stopping by. That
What's
stopped by for the live stream. We'll do it again next week. And as always, I hope you have a great day, evening, night, morning, afternoon tea, brunch, lunch, nightcap, midnight snack, crumpet, McGriddle, bacon sandwich. And remember to always ride for freedom. And thanks for coming, everyone. Yay.
Bye.
Goodbye.
Later, y'all.